All right. What is up, everybody? Welcome to more Tooth and Tail Championship Season 2 2024 coverage. I am Deltheus, and I'm going to get our buddy EvilMurlock on the phone here. Oh, that was a loud Discord noise. Sorry about that. EvilMurlock, what's going on, man?
Uh, yeah, it's going well. Thanks
Good.
for having me.
Oh, yeah, of course. I'm excited to have you on here. EvilMurlock has been casting a ton of games on YouTube as well, so check that out. I will link to your YouTube channel on these VODs here. But we have a good lineup today, man. We've got 2 open division best of 5s and 3 competitive division best of 3s. So have you been following? I'm curious to know, because you've been covering a lot of games. Have you seen a lot of our open players here? Winterload, Shavinbaby, Cheshire Saxophone, or Frodo?
Not really actually. Just Frodo. I remember casting Frodo and Winterload.
Yeah.
Obviously, Winterload, pretty good player. Don't really remember how well Frodo's games went, but yeah, I think he's a new player if I remember correctly. Haven't seen him before.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, exactly. I'd say Frodo and Shavinbaby I haven't seen before. Winterload and Cheshire Saxophone have been around forever. Just a little bit more casual. That's why they're on the open division. So I guess without any further ado, man, you ready to get into this? Let's just start. I think we'll start here with Winterload, Shavinbaby, and work our way. I think we saved Sasha versus Araloo for last. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
You're in their division, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's Group
Yeah.
A. Yeah, because I didn't have to play either of those, thankfully. But okay, cool. Let's get into the first match here. You ready to roll?
Yeah, I'm.
Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Up top, we've got Winterload, and down south, Shavinbaby. What do you think of these comps here? I feel like Shavinbaby's is a little bit. Well, actually, you know what? Camp Falcon Wolf is really strong right now. I was gonna say I kind of.
He has bar. He doesn't have a wolf. He has a bar.
Yeah.
Shavinbaby. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much the meta deck from the previous patch.
Right.
Except he does have the toads, which have been buffed this patch. So, I mean that's a good comp. Scroll Toad this patch should be pretty strong.
Yeah, I like Toads a lot this patch. I think especially because a lot of people are kind of skimping on the tier 1, you know, kind of run, like you see here out of Winterload. Like, he's really just running the squirrel. I mean, you don't really count the pigeon, even though they are tier 1. It's just not exactly what we're talking about. So, when you don't have, like, 2 different types of tier 1 to split, the Toads can get very, very powerful.
Yeah. But Winterload does have the chameleons, which should be able to counter those toads pretty well if Shavinbaby doesn't micro, so that's also pretty great for Winterload.
Yeah, the Camp Falcon Wolf, I mean, is kind of tried and true. It's been strong for a long time, and it continues to be strong here on this patch. So we'll have to see how these players start the game. I like the map. I think it's a pretty fun one, right? Like, both players have easy access to expansions. Probably better for Winterload up here, right? So you can kind of take the 3rd and 4th, like heading to the eastern side of the map. But pretty short rush distance, couple different rush paths. So all in all, it should be a pretty interesting mid-game.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'd love to see the ferrets out of Winterload, but I'm curious kind of what the thought process is behind the ferrets, to be honest, because we don't see that unit too often nowadays, and he doesn't have any kind of like mines or balloons to back it up. Do you think it's just kind of a way to hedge against somebody building too many turrets, or what do you think?
Yeah, probably just an opportunistic unit. He probably just needs those core 5 units, and he's like, well, let's just take ferrets just in case.
Yeah, and right now, you know, Winterload's kind of doing everything, right? Like, he expanded, now he's trying to push out. Shavinbaby is a newer player and is floating a bit of food, but still, with the defender's advantage, gonna be just fine. So
Exactly.
bit of a mistake here from Winterload to push out, you know. He's trying to expand and attack at the same time.
Exactly. Attacking after ecoing is just a bad move. I mean, he's already ahead thanks to the farm, so pretty much just giving Shabidi a chance to get back into the game right now.
All right, Shavinbaby on the counter attack here. And yeah, honestly, I was a little bit concerned for Winterload when I saw, the mill and the farm, but, Winterload has been careful outside of that to not over-eco, but Winterload doing an easy cleanup here. The big reason that happened was, Winterload has not been greedy with tech, right? Like, he's just been building nothing but tier 1, so that was a pretty easy defense.
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit unfortunate for Shavinbaby, because I do agree. It was like, oh, Shavinbaby just won a good fight, let me counterattack. But the fact that Winterload only had built squirrels, he had plenty to defend. So Shavinbaby going to get their own expansion at this point.
Ooh, Winterload going into some ferrets.
Okay, yeah, here they are. Now, let's think about this map for... Actually, you know what? Kind of harassing the second base might be a good idea with those ferrets, right? Because it's going to be tough. Like, they could probably shoot from the beach, and then it's going to be tough to, like, chase them through the water. Winterload would just need some high ground vision, which he could accomplish with some pigeons or even just running his commander up there.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, Winterload trying to scout. Should have seen the expansion. Yeah, saw the expansion there, so now they know that it's okay to go ahead and ramp up a bunch more farms on that second base. Ooh, maybe thinking about a wolf? Are we getting a wolf here, Murlock?
Looks like it. Unless it's a desync.
Yeah, I just saw that Warren go down. I think this is a desynced replay. Uh-oh. Are they?
Because I see him rallying, but no units are moving. And
oh no! Yeah, this is
Yeah.
unfortunately this happens sometimes. I wonder if they didn't play on the tournament. Well, I guess it doesn't matter, right? Like when we view the replay, it's not asking. It's not like a mod. I mean, it is a mod, but it's not a patch, I should say, right? So I wonder why this is happening. Weird. Well, sorry about that, everybody.
Winterload won, I guess.
I mean, I honestly would imagine Winterload would probably win that game.
Yeah.
Okay, I will make a note that it was a desync to QQ and make sure that he double checks with the players there. A little bit unfortunate, happens sometimes though. Actually, you know what? I haven't seen that happen in a long time. I would see it happen a little bit more back in the day when we would be playing on like patches. But since this is like a mod, I don't know. I don't know enough about the back end, but anywho, we'll just assume Winterload won that one, guys, and head to the next one. Are you ready to hop into game number 2?
I sure am.
Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, on the right-hand side, with the Badger, we've got Winterload, and over on the left, Shavinbaby. Okay, this time we know they are on the proper mod because we see some raccoons here.
Yeah.
How
players actually swapping out their decks. Like neither player taking squirrel and both taking lizards. That's super interesting.
Yeah, it's not something you see very common these days. How do you feel about the raccoons? Did you play with them much during your matches, or?
Yeah, I tried them out. Not during my tournament matches, but just in general. They're a pretty good unit, I would say. Average strength, average utility. They have the nice eco bonus, and they can be used in a lot of comps.
Yeah, I think.
But I see Winterload is rushing right now with lizards.
Yeah, 4-farm double here from Winterload, and Shavin did scout it and responded beautifully. Came home, sold a couple farms, 5-farm Warrens. This is still a really, really short rush distance. I hate to see the supply block here from Winterload. This should be a dead pin. This is absolutely a dead pin. Especially because the lizard, the swap. Oh my gosh, that couldn't have gone better for Winterload. Look at that, they both live.
Yep.
But not the end of the world for Shavinbaby either. Definitely worth the rush here from Winterload. Now, Shavin's got to be careful because they've only got the couple lizards and went straight to 8 farms. So Winterload might be able to punish this. He's coming in.
Yeah, he has to sell here, otherwise.
Yeah, the couple lizards gonna go down. This might be just a fast game number 2 here.
Yeah, that's GG. He shouldn't have sold the second Warren, that was just too greedy.
Yeah, I agree. He had the perfect response, and then he probably figured that, the rush was over. You know what I mean? And just didn't expect the follow up. So.
Yeah, you can never assume a rush is over because selling off a rush is just a bad move in general. you know, because then you lose tempo if your opponent doesn't sell it off his response. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and as you can see here, Winterload should be able to just keep the pressure on and pilot this to a victory here. It's just simply too much damage. To EvilMurlock's point, you know, so let's kind of talk about what happened there. It was 4-farm double versus 5-farm double. So Shavinbaby at first, like, responded perfectly, but since the map is so short, and we're talking about lizards who are fast, and also road buff, which increases movement speed, Winterload was still able to snipe that one pig, which was fine, you know, gives him a little bit of an edge. But where Shavinbaby went wrong was they sold the second Warren, and then that allowed Winterload to come in with too much follow-up damage. But, I don't know, we see 9 versus 6 lizards, but even if Shavin doesn't die here, he's just too far behind in economy at this point, right?
Yeah. Okay, can you give me 3 minutes? I have to do something.
Yeah, no worries. Just let me know when you're back. So Karsmars in chat says that Winterload didn't win game 1. They saw them play it live. I guess one of them was streaming on Twitch, so thanks for that confirmation. Yeah, and Jet's point in the chat, I mean, Shavin's Toads would have been quite nice if this game continued on a normal way. But Shavin's not going to give up, and I honestly agree with that. I mean, it is a tournament match, so they're still trying to lick their wounds here, get up to 8 farms. But meanwhile, Winterload is getting into some chameleons and going to try to attack from not the obvious angle. I think... Oh no, Shavin didn't see the movement. And now Shavin goes out to scout. This is the worst possible scenario for them. As now Winterload comes in and just ravages the Warrens. This is honestly the worst feeling in Tooth and Tail in my experience. Is like right when you leave to scout and you get backstabbed. It just feels bad, man.
Maybe I would have liked if Shavinbaby built some MGs. That would have at least boosted his defense a little bit, but...
Yeah. At this point, they know it, and they tap out. A little bit too far behind. So, GG. 2-0 here for Winterload. Let's see if Shavin can get a point on the board, or if it'll be a clean sweep here. Alright, you all good now, Murlock?
Yeah, I'm good.
Cool. Alright, let's hop into game 3. You ready?
Yeah.
Alright, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright. We've got Winterload on the right. Just changing up decks every game, huh? On bottom left, Shavinbaby. Going back to that original comp, or at least close to it, that we saw in the first match. I think they had skunks in the first match, not the pigeon, right?
Yeah.
But this is a cool comp from Winterload. You don't see balloons that often, and honestly, I did win a couple of my tournament matches with balloons, but it was a little bit more of that like balloon fox ferret style. But I think with all the tier 2 floating around, balloons, you know, might not be too bad in this meta. What do you think? Or do you just try to steer away from defense in general?
Well, the only defense I really use is mine.
Yeah.
And sometimes RD if I want to troll.
Yeah.
But yeah, what I found with balloons is that you can just overwhelm them too easily with tier 1, or just you expand when your enemy is defending.
Right.
They're a big investment. But they can definitely be used in some compositions, or if the map RNG is good enough, they can be definitely a good defensive unit.
Yeah, I think if the map RNG is good, you can definitely like kind of cheese some rushes with them, or you know, if you have a really advantageous late game composition, I feel like you build the balloons kind of in the mid to the late game, you know, to just kind of say like, hey, you can't attack if I can split the map with them and then just get like a million Owl Falcon or something like that. But I do generally agree. I think defense is not in the best spot. I mean, Mole's being nerfed to the point where, you know, you may not, you know, it's not an auto include anymore, right? Like maybe that makes MG a little bit better. But it's tough.
I agree.
Well, I love the spawn for Shavinbaby here. You know, four gristmills right on this high ground. You can't really complain about that. Meanwhile, Winterload's base is just fine as well. Now, speaking of balloons, actually, you know, if Winterload threw one of those balloons kind of right here on the edge of his territory, that would actually be fantastic a little bit later on, because it would kind of threaten, you know, these expansions and be an easy pullback spot, but we'll see how the game plays out. Quick Falcon from Shavinbaby and quick expansion here from Winterload.
Interesting that Winterload is expanding on the low ground instead of on the high ground. The high ground is a bit of a weak point for Winterload because Shavinbaby could siege his base basically from it.
Yeah, I wonder why. I mean, generally, I feel like this one's a bit more exposed, or it's a little bit easier to attack, maybe. So it's like you go ahead and get that one now, and then the higher end one's kind of free later on for your third base. Or maybe they didn't think that hard and they just kind of threw down a mill. Like, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, could be.
But we got some solid. Now, this is the kind of comp I like out of Shavinbaby, to be honest. Like, some toads. We see toads from both sides, though, which can lead to some interesting micro. But on the skunk versus falcon side, which one would you rather have here? I feel like I lean towards skunks, but I don't know. Sometimes in the early game, a couple falcons can really surprise you with how useful they can be.
Yeah, I prefer the skunks. Just because of their range, you can poke the opponent and force a favorable fight.
Yeah.
Especially with this high ground right here.
Yeah, pre-gassing is really big, and you can force people to come in. Throwing down a balloon is Winterload here. Maybe a little bit scared of the attack coming in.
He does have the economic advantage, so building defense is not the worst move, but Shavinbaby can just go around and attack his third base without ever getting into the range of the balloon, so that's...
And that is one of the big challenges of the defensive units, is that's $120 that can't move. Shavin thinking about coming into this anyways. I would like to see a few more toads out of them, I think. Ooh, the board.
Talking on the bar.
Okay. So then, I wonder if you want to just feint. Well, I mean, Winterload, I was going to say, maybe you feint and try to keep Winterload thinking they're under pressure. But Winterload just threw down a bunch of farms, so they feel pretty safe, I guess. They do see the scout, barely out of the corner of their eye. Probably want to come in and confirm what it is. Yeah, knows it's the boar now. This is tough. What do you do if you're Shavinbaby here? You're behind on economy. Your big boar move just got scouted.
I mean, I might... Well, you can't really win this far behind an economy, so you really have to expand, but... If you wanna get back... And... I really don't know. I would just try to pressure, I guess.
Yeah, I think at this point, maybe I would throw down a bunch of toads and just hope that the boar gets enough value, right? And then now that he knows the boar's coming, this is like the one situation where the balloons are like actually incredible. And boar pushes, you can target fire with the balloons, so you could target down the boar pretty easily. So a bit unfortunate because, like you said, I mean, you're so far behind in economy, right? Like, Shavin's a little bit all in at this point. They can't, I don't think it'd be wise to, like, sell the boar and try to play out a regular game, you know? Like, you've got to attack, but maybe just attack from an angle where there aren't balloons.
Yeah. You could easily just flame all of these warrens and get some free value just outside of the range of the balloon.
All right, the big attack is coming in. Shavinbaby did make a second base, so they are hanging. You kind of have to this late in the game as the main bases are going out. And Winterload's actually going for the base race, which is kind of surprising.
I think they just missed each other in the middle of the map.
Oh, maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe Winterload did not want to go for the base race. Yeah, they're running home. I was going to say, you're not going to base race a boar. That's already at your door. There it is. GG for Shavin. Nice. The board push wins after all. Yeah. Would you say it's mostly because Winterload was just out of position with his army? Like, it looked like he tried to avoid the army, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, now that I think about it, balloons have a huge scouting range, so he definitely saw the army. So that was just a misplay from Winterload.
Yeah.
He just miscalculated.
Interesting. All right, we've got cool. Well, now we got a series on our hands here, Murlock. So let's hop into game number 4. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised. I thought Winterload had that in the bag. All right, here we go. Winterload playing one of my favorite style decks on the left, and in the top right, Shavinbaby. So we've got Cam, Falcon, Wolf out of Winterload, which is a great kind of core. And then the Fox, if it makes sense. Some Skunks for AoE. I think that's a pretty solid deck. Meanwhile, Shavinbaby, you know, Skunk, Falcon. Not bad. And boar if the push comes to shove, but I think it's good. And interesting for the we've seen a lot of turrets out of Shavinbaby. Maybe that's like the comfort unit, you know, especially kind of as like a newer player. You kind of feel like a little vulnerable without the MGs. But we haven't seen them build one yet.
This mech generation is really interesting. The Schwabity's base especially. It is pretty easily cliff abusable with falcons and skunks. You can just guess the high ground and the defender will have super hard time responding to that.
Yeah, so cliff abuse in Tooth and Tail is absolutely huge. You know, you might look at Shavin's spawn and be like, oh, you know, this is nice. You know, they have, you know, they're really defended on all sides. You can't get, there's only a couple entrances, but the bad news of that, what EvilMurlock is talking about, is you could just fly up some falcons and they can shoot from the low ground, and it's just very, very hard to deal with that. Because as Shavin, your commander has to be like past them to issue orders, because your orders come from your commander, right? So if you're sitting in your main base getting cliff abused, it is just like incredibly difficult to respond to it.
Yeah, looks like both players are just expanding for now. Shwabity expanding faster this time, knowing he doesn't want to fall behind in economy like in previous games.
Yeah, it's cool to see Shavin take the tempo advantage here with the economy a little bit. And map looks okay. I definitely agree. I like it better for Winterload, but Shavin still does have access to plenty of gristmills over here. We've got a nice kind of rush distance here. I mean, it's just a little bit awkward because of ramping. Yeah, let's see how this game plays out. I wouldn't be surprised to see both players kind of farm up this time around.
Yeah, I agree. Shwabity is building an MG on his back door, but I kind of disagree with that. But maybe he was a little scared now after scouting the farms. He should probably sell it off and just farm up himself.
Yeah, doing a decent job on the farms there. Let's see. Yeah, the good rule of thumb is you always want to stay 1 or 2 farms ahead of your opponent. You don't want to get too many farms ahead, or else you might not have a big enough army. So good scout here, sees the double tier 2. So yeah, Winterload playing, honestly, this is the kind of game that I like to play. You know, just, you know, teching up a little bit, farming up a little bit. Kind of all around, little mid-rangey style of play here. Good scout here from Winter 2, is able to see exactly what's going on. Now, I do think that Winterload's composition is going to scale much more nicely. I think that on paper, I like Winterload's deck composition better. But if Shavin kind of wins that I threw down my tier 3 before you did scenario and can push with the boar, then I think they'll be just fine. But I think that's really got to be Shavin's win con here, right? Is just a solid boar push. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. If Shwabity manages to get out his tier 3 before, then he'll just win. But if Winterload gets the wolf out, which he just dropped down, then he'll just scale way better, and the wolf buff will just shred anything Shwabity has.
Yeah, the Cam Falcon, and even the squirrels, to be honest, all benefit so nicely from the wolf buff. The fox is also great against falcons, against boar, if Winterload can manage to get a double tier 2 out. So, yeah, this is a really important scout for Shavin. They need to find that wolf, and they barely do. So they know that the coast is clear to throw down their own boar. But is it too late is the question. I think once Winterload realizes it's a boar from the opponent, you just build a bunch of falcons. And with that wolf buff, you can gun it down pretty quickly. And no tier 3 out of Shavin here. Instead, 16 farms. A couple more MGs going down. And there's the fox as well. Beautiful. Shavin needs to throw down their boar.
He's actually pushing instead.
With
this double tier 3 building right now, that would be... Now's the time to attack.
Yeah, this is huge. Let's see, $540 of Winterload is wrapped up in tier 3 that's doing nothing. This is actually huge for Shavin. Skunk's holding on very strong, though. Winterload's army was able to clean this up.
Yeah. It was a bit unfortunate. Shwabity was actually floating about 360 food himself, so the food difference wasn't really even that big, and with those 2 MGs at home.
Yeah, exactly, with the 2 MGs. That's very true. Wow. Winterload was able to thwart that attack no problem, and that was Shavin's big attack window. So unfortunately, not to be anti-hype, but, you know, I think Winterload's got this one in the bag from here. Let's see, a lot of tier 1, though, out of Shavin. That can help. And getting up a decent Falcon count. You can't, I don't know, you can't count somebody out that's got 6 Falcons, Murlock.
Yeah, you can definitely pull off some sneaky plays. Maybe a base race again.
And right now the Wolf is just buffing the pigs, which is giving Winterload a very, very big economic boost. Basically doubling every one of these pigs here. And the Fox is also here. Yeah, and speaking of base race, Shavin is positioning in that kind of manner.
Ooh, and Winterload is moving out once again.
Oh my gosh, Shavin! Shavin is gonna steal this game from Winterload. Let's see if they can do it, targeting down the most important mill. Alright, that's already huge. I don't think you commit to the base race. I think you turn and fight, right? Because you just took out their mining base. So I think this Shavin goofed up by
he didn't know about the third
Oh
base.
yeah, he doesn't know. That's very true. Yeah, that makes sense why he's gonna feel so bad now. Because if he would have turned and fought, even if he lost that fight, as long as it was close, then he would win in the long run from the economy.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's what's so fun about Tooth and Tail, because like I genuinely think like Shavin could have won this, but it was that split-second decision, you know.
Yeah.
That's all it takes sometimes. And GG, that is gonna be it. Winterload will win 3-1. Pretty fun open series match here. Start things off today.